guys, remember last time we went through all these Jeeps and trials and pros and cons and things we loved and maybe didn't love. There was one thing we couldn't get past, and that was that sound of the Hemi. So we scratched all of them and we went out. The red Hemi, obviously way too modified for what we're going to be doing in the Rebelle, and crosses the lines on some of their rules. So we went out, we got ourselves a Hemi that qualifies to run the Rebelle Rally. So we are so ready to get this build going and get some time under our belt, and I'm so excited for the dunes with the power. We can't be Team Dixie and not do some builds.
It's Saturday morning. We're here at the Dixie four-wheel drive garage, and we're going to install all the wonderful parts that TerraFlex sent us today.
All right, if you know Dixie, you know that Dixie and TerraFlex have a solid relationship. So we've been dealing with TerraFlex back before they became full manufacturing. Some people may not know that TerraFlex used to be a garage like us, and then they just grew into the manufacturing side and did away with the shop and now just produce parts. So they're a local company, so we like our Utah companies. They're easy to work with, quick to get for us and make a solid product. And get all these parts laid out and let's get to work. Okay guys, we're getting underway. Just in case you guys weren't sure, me and Avis are not technicians and we don't professionally install.
No.
So, although I work in the shop, I'm mostly in the office, but we've got Kyle here to supervise us. He's one of our technicians that's going to make sure that we don't do anything we're not supposed to. So, great part about TerraFlex, they are probably one of the better in the industry at their instructions and videos. So we have full YouTube videos, full instructions, and then our backup if we need it. So we're gonna get on and get on getting.
I'm ready.
Starting with the wheels coming off. Alright guys, one thing we have to do before we get going is we have to disconnect everything that might get torn out during the install. So as we drop this axle down, we don't want to rip out our sensors and then have to repurchase those. So make sure you always do that before you start your kits. We made it to step 6. which is really just the first page after unboxing. We already had a call-in back up a little bit, but we've got our sway bar links done, our track bar bolt undone, and now we're gonna take some brake line parts off.
Ooh, that's not important at all.
We're just taking the mounts off. We just need to pry it open, then take it off. You got
Excellent.
that? Pry, pry, yeah.
Okay, it's getting serious now. Gotta get myself a hat. Okay, so we've taken care of the business of ripping it all apart, and we got all the old parts out, and now it's time to put it all back together.
So the 392s actually come with a 2-inch lift from the factory. So we're not really going up a ton that we really need all adjustable control arms, but what we really wanted was TerraFlex's new independent rotating joints in there. So essentially this sleeve moves inside of the joint. Most lift kits, when you do them, you have to wait till you get everything on the ground to tighten it up. But because this allows that movement, we can actually tighten in the air. Essentially it gives you more travel in your suspension to perform better. So we are going together with the new arms. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that these arms are gonna be the same length as the factory. So again, like I said, we have a 2-inch lift already, so it's not like we're making a lot of adjustments there. If we were gonna go with a long arm and go a little taller, we would need to adjust, but we're just gonna go straight through. So we're just gonna line up, make sure that they are set to the same size, and it looks like they fit up right through. So we're gonna be able to just bolt these right back in. The only ones that we're gonna adjust to a different length is gonna be those front lower arms, and that's gonna be for our caster. Cycling the suspension out here, what we want to double check is that everything's clearing and moving like it's supposed to. So worst case, when you get off road, you don't want something smacking into something that's not supposed to be and causing damage under there. We want to find out where we need to set our bump stops so that we don't bottom out the shocks first. So that's the big thing. We want to protect these shocks and make sure our bump stops are hitting where they need to. So we're just going to cycle out, and then we're about to throw the bump stops in, and we'll be almost finished up with the rear.
Working on are the plastic pieces that go here, just inside the fender trim, and we just cut out a hole so that now we can reach all of our adjustments. Just in case you thought people were doing this all for us, we totally just put the wrong side on over here. And while I feel like our supervisors probably noticed, they totally let us just screw it up, and now we have to take it off and redo it. So it's a learning experience. It's not going.
Now we're extra good at arms because we got to do them over them too many times. Okay, sometimes when I get stuck, like I did with getting the brake line brackets off, I have to call my dad. Dad!
Yeah.
Alright, so we finished out our 3.5-inch Terraflex I-arm lift kit. Luckily, we did have our helpers around today, so Kyle obviously
Bravo.
helped us
Kyle.
a lot. Milt stopped by, Bryce stopped by. We got a little bit of the tips and tricks from just about everybody today, which we definitely needed.
Definitely.
We may or may not be future techs, but if you ask the guys, probably not.
We now have a better understanding of what's going on under our Jeep, for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, the great part is out on the Rebelle, if we do come across something, we're definitely way more suited to take care of it out there. So
Yeah.
pretty excited about that. Now our next steps, we've got bumpers coming, our winch, we are getting new wheels and tires. So there's a few little final adjustments we're gonna make on the alignment rack, and then we will be ready to rock and roll.
Yep.